Here we have the LARPer in his natural habitat. Observe as he tries to infiltrate a group of anime fans. Boy, the culling games sure are crazy right now. Yeah, I agree, man. Who are you rooting for? Denji! Undeterred by his previous failure, the LARPer attempts to find a new target, the book reader. And this time, he has come prepared. Gee, I sure do love to read. Really? What's your favorite book? Why, Blood Meridian, of course. Really? I love Blood Meridian. Who's your favorite character? Why, Judge Holden, of course. Who else? She's on to me! Abort, abort! The LARPer flees. But the LARPer decides to take one more chance and, desperate, attempts an advanced technique. The reverse LARP, pretending he is not well versed on social media in order to seem more sophisticated. Man, all that social media junk poisons your brain. Am I right, guys? But unfortunately, reports of LARPers in the area have made the people suspicious, and so a test is put before him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7! Damn it. And so, the LARPer slinks off defeated for the day. Will he return? Only he knows. Fake fans. Or LARPers, as they've come to be called recently. It seems like they're everywhere you look these days. Fake anime fans, fake band fans, fake readers, even fake gooners. Don't ask about that last one. But today I wanted to do a little deep dive into explaining the different types of LARPers and finding out why they do what they do. Hello beautiful people, I'm TierListMan39, and today we're going to be exploring the 3 different types of LARPers. Now the ones you've probably encountered the most in the wild are TikTok LARPers. These are more common than white people at Olive Garden. Now despite the name, a lot of these guys don't actually use TikTok, it's just a name for the type of LARPer they are. They're usually not all too connected with the series, but try and act like they've been 10 toes down from the jump, usually to hop in on an incoming hype train. Now, who the TikTok LARPer tries to bandwagon changes basically every season. Right now, a huge portion of them are trying to sneak into JJK. You already know the type I'm talking about. Probably talks non-stop about agenda kaizen and hype edits over everything else. Every other word out of their mouth is about Yuta being a bum or Megami being Potential Man, but they're super quiet regarding any real story beats. They're basically like me. Shit. Honestly, I don't blame TikTok LARPers too much for engaging with the hype aspects of a story every now and then. After all, it's not like you're more or less of a real fan because you only talk about the purity of Gege's writing. Y'all know that's not how I roll over here. The problem comes in when hype moments and aura is all you consume of a show or a manga, and you pretend like you're a fan of the series, rather than just the aesthetic. Now, a lot has already been said about this incident with Emiru, where she makes the mispronunciation of the century while cosplaying.
It's backwards. Say who you are. I'm Issa.
But honestly, at first I didn't really see what the big deal was. After all, I'm not the biggest Chainsaw Man fan in the world, I'm an anime only, and Asa is a manga exclusive character. It made sense she didn't know how to pronounce her name. That was until I found out that she wasn't even cosplaying Asa. She was cosplaying Yoru the entire time. Now, I don't want to go in on her too much, she's already got enough backlash as it is, but it kind of perfectly shows off what I mean. Chainsaw Man at the time was popping off. Movie had just dropped, edits were going crazy, so, being a popular streamer, she understandably tried to capitalize on the hype train. Only problem is, she got caught in the forest of Ks. Which brings me to the primary motivation of the TikTok LARPer. They want to fit in and be popular. Which is kind of hilarious considering it was a running gag to bully people who even had anime profile pics like a decade ago. Or maybe they do genuinely like the aesthetic of a series, but can't be bothered to engage with the story. Which I get to an extent. I watch all types of NBA edits to this day, despite the fact that I haven't followed the NBA outside of the finals in like 3 years at this point. The problem is just the lying. Don't act like you know what you don't. It's okay to be new or a casual fan, but please don't act like Dumbledore when you're first year Ron Weasley. But the next type of LARPer we're going to be talking about is far more insidious and far more annoying. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Performative LARPer. I'm gonna be real, this might be the only category of LARPing where I actually get kind of mad at the people engaged. TikTok LARPers are just trying to hop on a trend. These are just trying to feel like they're better than you. There is no experience more enraging than arguing with a dude who just misspelled the word book, trying to act like they're better than you because they allegedly play Umineko. These people will look for the most niche, unknown, secretive piece of media they can find, learn 2 character names, and act like the whole time they've been the #1 fan of like Butt Attack Punisher Girl. That's a real anime, by the way. Or better yet, they'll act like they're morally or intellectually superior to you because of what they're a fan of. Now, people have talked a lot about the performative male trend back in 2025, calling out dudes who were fake feminists. But the funny thing is, the opposite exists. Would you believe me if I told you there were girls online whose whole persona was LARPing being racist?
I beg your pardon?
I'm so serious. We have performative racists of all things, which might be the most pathetic sentence I've ever said on this channel. There's like 3 examples I can think of off top where some white girl gets famous for calling someone the hard R, gets fired from her job, gets hundreds of thousands of dollars in donations from racists, and then they switch up on her when it turns out she'd had a black boyfriend. Like, I have enough data to do a case study on this. It's insane. But the one performative LARPer I can't hate is probably the most famous one of all, LeBron James. This guy might be the greatest LARPer to ever live. It's so bad that it loops all the way around from being annoying to hilarious. This nigga lies about everything, and he never even tries to make it believable. Braun tells me the sky is blue, I'm going outside to check. But the best example has to be with LeBron reading books. There's not a single example of him showing off his reading comprehension where he has more than the first 5 pages of a book open. Hey, maybe it's just his basketball IQ. He can tell how a game is going to go down in the first quarter, so maybe he can tell how a book is going to go down after the first page. But besides LeBron, LARPing being a reader has become pretty meta lately. With book talk on the rise and book fluencers everywhere, it's the coolest it's ever been in my lifetime to actually be literate. Well, with the exception of Agenda, that is. Actually though, let's talk about that joke. These guys will take every chance they have to shit on agenda discussions, power scaling, fan fiction, or anyone doing anything besides just sitting there and discussing the writing, which is already annoying enough for its own video. But reminder, they haven't even read the thing they're telling you you're not reading right. Most of the time with these guys, the point of LARPing is so they can feel like they're in some exclusive or superior camp that no one else is in. But people trying to feel better than each other is about as new as Skyrim re-releases. But what probably has to be the strangest and most unique LARPing archetype of all time is the category we'll be covering next. Let me tell you about the elusive reverse LARPer. Ah yes, the reverse LARP technique. An ancient style passed down since before time had a name. In essence, instead of hopping on the bandwagon for something that's popular, what you do instead is you hop on the hate train for something everyone else is clowning. But the problem is that it has to be something that you actually secretly like. Like those 20-something celebrities that pretend that they don't look at social media. Brother, who are you fooling? Like, we know your ass is gonna pop up with a burner account in like 6 months. You can try to lie to me, but you can't lie to yourself. It's literally your job to be current and trendy. And you expect me to believe that you aren't ever on the place that decides what's currently trending. A nigga like Lil Wayne will pop up talking about some, I don't really be on social media, then literally have a whole song complaining about how people talk about him on Twitter. But there's another type of reverse LARPer where the thing you pretend to hate is actually deeply unpopular. Now I actually feel a little bad for these guys. I know exactly what it's like to be a fan of something everyone else despises. I unfortunately have the displeasure of being an Alex fan after all. Which, if you don't know, has been rough. I can't even lie, after this headline drop, I hit the reverse LARP myself. Switched up immediately. Told every one of my fighting game buddies that I'd never been excited for Alex to drop. That he was my least favorite of all the Street Fighter grapplers. Whole time, I've been counting down the days until he released. But then again, LARP or not, I can't support a nigga whose family tree looks like a braided wreath. At least they're finally patching that out. But it's pretty par for the course that at some point, something you like will be unpopular. Before like 2020, for me, that was anime. Though I never really hid that. People thought it was weird, but I got bullied more for being fat than for being a weeb, and I got through the other side alright. But for other people, it can be different. Maybe they got full on bullied for liking anime. Maybe they didn't have the confidence to express they liked something weird. Maybe they were just really embarrassed. Or in the case of my hero loving friend, all 3. You see, back in the day, I knew this dude who was a huge MHA fan, doing all the cringe-ass TikToks, listening to My Hero ASMR. This dude was in deep. But being a pre-Dark Hero MHA fan wasn't for the weak. My guy got clowned way worse than I ever did, and by the time we hit high school, you'd have thought this nigga never heard of My Hero. Matter of fact, I overheard him like a year later talking to some of his boys about how cringe MHA fans were, and how he could never watch the show because of them. Mind you, this brother had a Shigaraki IG profile pic for 2 solid years. We aren't cool like that anymore, but every now and then I think about the fact that he felt like he had to hate on a show he loved, or at least used to love, just to fit in. And I guess it makes a lot more sense why people get so mad at LARPers, especially for anime. It's gotta feel a way seeing niggas rep the stuff you used to get bullied for just to get some internet points. But despite that, I don't think LARPers are irredeemable or anything. At the end of the day, you don't have to like everything or be a fan of everything to fit in. It's okay to not like or engage with things, just don't pretend that you actually do. But also, it's fine to like things other people don't and stand 10 toes on it. The key to it all is authenticity. I think instead of just disengaging or keeping up the lie, the best cure to being a LARPer is to become a fan. Maybe you actually did like a TikTok edit or a scene from an anime. In that case, why not try actually watching it? Worst case, you don't like it, and you can just move on. But best case, you find something life-changing. As Kendrick Lamar once said, you ain't gotta lie to kick it, my nigga. And if you want to see my breakdown of a fandom I'm very much not LARPing being a part of, then check out my breakdowns for the Baki and Kangen communities. Also, shout out my cousin Tondo, happy birthday.